Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time you listening to it is. It's your boy, Mr. Victory or Nothing, also known as Marcus. Ain't that funny? I just think it's funny that my also known as is my actual real name. That just trips me out. But what's up, people? Um, yeah, man, I'm back. Week 3, moment of victory, victory or nothing. Still haven't quite figured it out. I'm gonna keep telling y'all that. Like I said, I'm not really trying to do a podcast or nothing per se. Just trying to make sure I get my voice out. I get to voice my opinions. So that's why I just got the YouTube channel. Follow me on YouTube, Mr. Victory or Nothing, and you can see our 2 previous episodes. But it's week 3. Um, I won't be before you long today. Honestly, as you heard, I ain't have my intro music or none of that. I just wanted to get right to it. Um, here on this, we basically take some lyrics from a hip hop song. Could be old, could be new. And I just tell you how I feel these lyrics make me feel in regards to what's going on in the world today. So this week I chose the song Amerikkka. It's by Trick Daddy on his album Book of Thugs. Came out in 2000. If you haven't heard it, check that out. That's when Trick Daddy was popping. I know y'all only know him. I guess he was on Love and Hip Hop recently. Miami. I ain't watched none of it. I'm giving up on Love and Hip Hop. Yeah, just a waste of time. But yeah, this album is from 2000. Again, it's called The Book of Thugs. The song is Amerikkka. I'm actually going to play the second verse by a guest feature named Society. So check it out. Not America.
Not America.
Not in America.
Our country is liberty. That'll never be.
No.
No way, not in America.
Not in this America.
Not in America.
No.
You only got $2 to give less than a fuck.
Then you a nigga.
Got a nice home and a Lexus truck.
You a nigga.
World champions and you MVP.
You a nigga.
4 degrees and a PhD.
You still a
To
nigga.
use your platinum card, you need 4 IDs.
Then you's a nigga.
If your skin is brown just like me,
Then you a nigga.
got a promotion and a fat ass raise.
You still a
You
nigga.
from the islands and your peoples was enslaved.
You a nigga.
No matter how much your ass get
You
paid.
still a nigga.
Shot by the cops at a traffic stop.
Cause you a nigga.
That's what I hold toast to. I sell by coastal, international. They into catching you with satellites from deep space. Now, who invented niggas in the first place? They said America's the original birthplace. Who getting 10, 20 life on their first case?
My niggas.
This game wasn't told to me. It was sold to me. You're getting nothing free.
No.
So yeah, that was Amerikkka by Trick Daddy. Again, album Book of Thugs came out in 2000. And how ironic, how fitting that this week the NFL, the owners, and Roger Goodell, the commissioner, mandated that there now be a rule that you have to stand for the national anthem. I don't know, just in case y'all been living under a rock. A couple years ago, Colin Kaepernick took a knee, during the national anthem. He was staging a protest, a peaceful protest, pretty much against negative, crooked cops, whoever, who excessively use force against African Americans and other peoples of colors, while doing routine things like stops, traffic stop violation, things of that nature. As you know, over the years, and it just seems to happen more and more. But cops have been caught on camera beating people, killing people, etc. And these people have been getting no justice. These people have just been killed, and their families, have to deal with the loss or whatever. So how fitting that I choose this song this week. Just my views on things. The NFL is super whack. And I did the boycott thing last year, and while I think there was some headway, I think it could have been so much better. But unfortunately, we as a people, we all wasn't on the same page. Um, at minimum, us as black people, we all didn't boycott, and I think it's kind of sad that a big corporation like the NFL, a $10 billion a year, or 2 billion, man, who knows? I think it's 10. No, I think it's 10. A $10 billion corporation can pretty much just spit in our face and just be like, nope, we're not doing this. The reason why this bothered me so much and I decided to protest last year was because I remember when North Carolina passed that bathroom law, and the NBA, took a stance for the LGBT community. They pretty much was like, no, that's unacceptable. Whether they deemed it unacceptable or not, they had a large fan base because, the LGBT community likes basketball too. So they had a large fan base that was offended by this. So that year, the All-Star game was supposed to be in Charlotte. And the NBA said, you know what, North Carolina, you mistreating people. So we're going to take this away from you. North Carolina did not get the money they would have got with all those celebrities and everybody else going to North Carolina that year. They gave it to New Orleans. New Orleans gets that money. So now we have a professional sports league who has set the precedence for things like this. So now when Colin Kaepernick says, yo, black people are getting killed and being mistreated by the police and the NFL, pretty much, man, F y'all. Like, they blackballed him. He ain't played in like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Year and a half, whatever the case may be. They just pretty much was like, F y'all, we don't care about black people issues. So how fitting that I use this song. First, let me, as always, I read some lyrics. So let's go to the hook real quick. It's playing off the national anthem or whatever the case may be. It's like, this game wasn't told to me. It was sold to me, and it will never free. No way, not in America. Not America. Our country, 'tis a thee, land of liberty, but there'll never be no way, not in America. So the verse that we really want to pay attention to is the second verse. Again, it's Trick Daddy featuring some guy named Society. I don't know who Society is, but it's a dope verse. And again, this song was in 2000, so just pay attention to the relevance, that this song is pushing from 2000 today. So it starts off, he's like, and every time he says something, you get the echo in the background that say, you a nigga. So I don't want to keep saying you a nigga, but that's what it say. I'm gonna say it a couple times, but every time he say a sentence, he follows it up with you a nigga. So it starts off, you only got $2 and give less than a fuck, then you a nigga. Got a nice home and a Lexus truck, you a nigga. World champions and you MVP, you a nigga. 4 degrees and a PhD, still a nigga. So, I can go on and on, but if your skin brown just like me, then you're a nigga. Got a promotion and a fat ass raise, you still a nigga. From the islands and your people were slaves, you a nigga. No matter how much your ass get paid, you still a nigga. So the whole thing is just giving you just different scenarios like that. And it's basically for those people who feel like, I made it. Nah, they act like they above the situation. And it just bothers me because we seen them people. We saw last year, LeBron James, the biggest athlete in the world, had his home in California with the words nigger, the ER. The word nigger was spray paint on his home. And he's the biggest star in the world. So this song, again, just shows so much, how real it still is today. Like, it don't matter how rich you are. It don't matter how successful you are. We still, in certain people's eyes, not everyone, not all white people are bad, but the majority in their eyes, we still niggas. Like, and so this song just spoke so much to what's going on today. But it was just really disheartening that everyone didn't boycott. And it's just like, to me, I just feel like that's just how we are today. It's because some of us have made it Ironically, Kanye a couple weeks ago talking about slavery was a choice. It's just crazy. Like, because some of us have made it, we're gonna act like that there really isn't problems, and that's just not the case. So when we don't participate as a group and we don't all as one like fall in line with these boycotts. Now I get it. It seemed like every other week we boycotting something. So, I get it. But it's just like certain things we just should know. Like that football thing, they basically said forget black people and their issues. And we don't boycott. And I don't think y'all really understand the power of the black dollar. Like if you go all the way back to Rosa Parks and the Montgomery the boycotts, the bus boycotts, that joint went on for like 9 months. But the outcome of those 9 months, they did a lot of walking and everything else, but they got it done, even if it took 9 months, because everybody was on one accord. Everyone says people don't care about black people, but like I said, look at what the NBA did with that bathroom rule in North Carolina. The reason why, because every member of the LGBT community is on one page. They all want the same thing, equality. Black people, like some of us are rich, so we don't care about the poor people. The older people, resent the younger people, and vice versa. Rich people resent the poor people, and vice versa. The dark people resent the light people, and vice versa. Like, we're just not on the same page. And if we all get on the same page, man, we could get something done. So the NFL just like, forget y'all once again. They doubled down on it. After everything that happened last year, we made a little headway. You know what I'm saying? They lost a few bucks, a couple sponsors lost some money like Papa John's and stuff. But imagine if all of us got on the same page. And I equate what's going on with the black community. Sorry, Pittsburgh fans, but I'm calling the Pittsburgh Steelers out on this one. Antonio Brown. So take Antonio Brown, for instance. Le'Veon Bell has been getting abused as the running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they won't give him a contract extension. He's the best running back in the league. He deserves a contract extension, and the Steelers won't get it to him because the running back is, a dime a dozen player. Like, they use him up for their good years, and then they just get another one for cheap. So, Antonio Brown, who is the highest paid receiver in the league, making $17 million a year, who got his new deal 2 years ago, is in the media telling Le'Veon Bell that he needs to come in to practice, because they got their OTAs, their off-season training activities or whatever. Like, that situation right there sums black people up in a hole. Like, Antonio, you got your money 2 years ago, so you want him to come in. He don't have his money, but you want him to come in so he could help you get a ring. Like, that's us in a nutshell. Like, the rich people don't care what's going on with the poor people. They just want whatever is going to make, them keep their money, in this instance with black people. And it sums it up to the T. Like, rule number one in pro sports, you don't talk about other players' monies. You got your money. He's still, I know y'all say NFL players, he's not struggling, this and that, but he is the best at his position. He's one of the top 10 best offensive players in the league, and he is well underpaid in a $10 billion organization. So Antonio Brown, you telling him to come in when you have your money, you are the highest paid receiver in the league. Like, that's just BS. But that sums us up in a nutshell. And I'm telling you, it's not going to happen till we all get on the same page. Straight up, it's not going to happen. We, black people, have to get on page. The NFL has doubled down. They showed us what's up. Every week, we see white people or just these corporations mistreating black people. And like, it just continues to happen, and it's happening on camera, and nothing's happening because deep down we could boycott, we could yell this and that. The whole Starbucks thing, man, people was drinking Starbucks after like a week. Like, you know what I'm saying? But those two guys who got arrested after being in the Starbucks for 2 minutes, like, it's not going to happen until we all come together. The Jews have showed us the way. The Jewish community literally spends their money with other Jews. And I always tell people, I use this as an example. Like, as we discussed previously, I MC and host events, markers of ceremonies. If y'all don't know, follow me on Twitter. You can go to my website, www.markersofceremony.com. But I MC and host of events. Shameless plug, I know. But I always tell people, if I had a Jewish friend who I've known for 10 years, he my boy. He don't got nothing against me. But guess what? If he has an event and he knows a Jewish MC, he's going to hire the Jewish MC. That guy or gal doesn't have to be his friend or anything. But the fact that they're Jewish, even though we're friends and we've been friends for a decade plus, he's going to spend that money with them because that's what they taught. And that's why they continue to be a wealthy group of people. Black people, we have the largest spending power in the world. We spend the most money. We own the least, but we spend the most. Our dollars matter. And until we get on one page, one accord, we are going to continue to be mistreated by the NFL, by Starbucks, by whoever. Pick a organization. Like, every time you see, just Google black people being mistreated by a corporation and watch how many stories come up. But it's not going to change until we get on one page, one accord. And so I just implore us to, like, let's work on that. Like, let's do something. Forget boycotting every other thing. It's no point boycotting every other thing all the time because something always happens and we're on to the next. But if we focus, man, one that's blatantly wrong and they just double down like the NFL and they make $10 billion a year, oh yeah, and their players are 80% black populated, even though there is not one black owner, like, that shows you the 32 owners, not one black one. They only have one of color. That's the guy in Jacksonville, Shad Khan or whatever. I forget what he is. I forget what his ethnicity is, but it's like Indian or Palestinian, something like that. But he's the only owner that's of color, and he's not black. The rest of them are old white men. Meanwhile, the players that are black make up 80% of the NFL. Like, we are the commodity. On top of that, we are the spending dollars. We could do this, man, but we gotta all get on one accord. So again, like I said, I'm gonna always bring you some lyrics or whatever from a song that I deem, just depicts what's going on in the world today. Again, this week's song was Amerikkka. Is by Trick Daddy on his Book of Thugs album from 2000. Did y'all hear those words? From 2000. The year 2000 is 2018. We dealing with the same thing. So yeah, we just gonna go out with that. But y'all think about it. Again, it's Mr. Victory or Nothing. Man, thank y'all for listening to me. Like the page, like the YouTube page, like this video, share with your friends, tell people about it. I'm just talking some stuff, getting some stuff off my chest. Hope y'all like what I'm saying, and hope y'all come back next week.